This is Part 2 Episode 101. Yun Qiuzi's expression was dark as he sneered at Wang Lin and asked, "How did you see through me?" Looking at Yun Qiuzi, Wang Lin said, with a heavy tone, "That isn't the cultivation planet crystal. Also, you have the ability to teleport, so even if you were injured, it wouldn't be as serious as you said it was." Yun Qiuzi laughed. There was a hint of appreciation in his eyes as he said, "You are worthy of being one of the 4 people I chose." "That is correct. That isn't the cultivation planet crystal. That is only a shadow. As long as one touches it, they can take their soul piece back." Wang Lin's eyes were calm. He didn't speak, but just stared at Yun Qiuzi. His grip on the 1 billion soul flag slowly tightened. "This old man won't lie to you. To draw your soul piece back through the shadow requires a heavy price. This is why I asked you to get it for me. If you do it, I'll give you a powerful treasure as a reward. In the deepest part of the immortal graveyard, there is an ancient altar. It is there that my clan's ancestor obtained the power to reach the 12-leaf stage. If you help me bring me back the cultivation planet crystal, I'll bring you there to let your cultivation increase by a level." "How about it?" said Yun Qiuzi with a heavy tone. Wang Lin revealed a pondering expression. Yun Qiuzi seemed to be a bit anxious as he quickly said, "Wang Lin, quickly go retrieve the cultivation planet crystal. Don't force me to act. You know I don't want to kill you." Wang Lin took a look at Yun Qiuzi and said, "And if you break your promise? Give me the true method to use the straw hat as a deposit." Wang Lin still had the straw hat that Yun Qiuzi gave him, however, the straw hat contained many restrictions, and they were very complicated, so without the proper method, he couldn't unleash its full power. Yun Qiuzi's eyes lit up. From his point of view, there was no way for Wang Lin to escape, so all Wang Lin could do was follow his order. As a result, he took a jade, filled it with information, and threw it at Wang Lin. Wang Lin wasn't in a rush as he looked through the jade. After making sure that it was real, he put it away, surrounded himself with the 1 billion soul flag, and flew toward the tower in the center. In almost the blink of an eye, he arrived next to the first Suzaku. He looked at this once ruler of the planet, paid especial attention to the shadow, and finally turned his gaze to the cultivation planet crystal. He was standing beside the purple light, but strangely enough, there was no shadow of him at all. Yun Qiuzi's eyes lit up and he quickly said, "Put your hand on it and call out my name. Don't try anything funny, or I promise I'll kill you." Wang Lin took a deep breath, then he lowered his head toward Yun Qiuzi and said, with a heavy tone, "I once thought of you as my benefactor. Even when I found out that you were part of the Forsaken Immortal clan, I didn't want to oppose you. I just wanted to leave planet Suzaku and search for my own Tao. Senior, you have truly disappointed me today. I don't know if this shadow does what you say it does, but I know that if I do what you told me to, I will immediately die." At the moment Wang Lin said those words, Yun Qiuzi's expression changed and he was about to charge out. But Wang Lin shook the 1 billion soul flag, and the surroundings were immediately filled with soul fragments. At the same time, Wang Lin quickly backed up and with a roar, all of the soul fragments from the soul flag charged toward the shadow of the first Suzaku. At this moment, a series of crackling sounds came from the chair the first Suzaku was sitting on. And at the same time, a laugh came out from within the shadow, and red lights started flashing from it like crazy. The shadow immediately shattered and the old man quickly walked out. The monkey on his shoulder, which was even faster, charged out at Yun Qiuzi. Yun Qiuzi's expression became gloomy and he stopped. His hand moved and one by one, golden tattoos appeared from the void and circled around him. "Little fellow, that seal of yours was pretty good. Using the aura from this dead person along with your own cultivation, you created a shadow seal to seal me. This kind of shadow seal is very rare. It was rare even in ancient times. For you to be able to control it is not easy. If Master's original body was here, it would be destroyed with just one punch, but this is just a sliver of Master's divine sense possessing a body. So you were able to trap me for a while. To be able to do this much in your lifetime is already very good. You can brag about it in your next life." The old man's eyes started glowing red. Yun Qzi let out a snort and the tattoos around him flew out. His target wasn't the old man, but the little monkey. Yun Qzi shouted, "A mere puppet. As long as I destroy where that divine sense is hidden, then no matter how strong your real body is, you won't be able to get here now." When Wang Lin's divine sense spread out, he noticed the shadow behind Yi Wuyo. When he found himself next to the purple light, and saw no shadow of himself, he felt that it was strange and decided to risk it. If he failed, he would immediately enter the heaven-defying bead to hide. He believed that Yun Qzi didn't lie about the effect of the cultivation planet crystal's shadow, but the price to extract a soul piece through it was one's life. Otherwise, Yun Qzi would have already gotten it himself instead of waiting. Even if the third person wasn't Wang Lin, he would still have forced that person to get the soul piece. At the moment the old man came out, Wang Lin shook the soul flag. The soul fragments surrounded him and he quickly retreated. Whether it was the old man Tu Sen was controlling or Yun Qzi, they were not people Wang Lin was willing to mess with right now. He had already confirmed that the cultivation planet crystal wasn't here, so he could only quickly leave. But just at this moment, the palace suddenly shook. This shaking was extremely violent. It was as if the heavens and earth were being shaken. At this moment, cracks began to appear on the tower. Another collapse of the cultivation planet crystal had started. From the bottom of the tower, a crack appeared and moved straight up like a dragon. Finally, the crack reached the top of the tower and arrived at the throne of the first Suzaku. At this moment, with a crisp crackling sound, the throne Yi Wuyo was sitting on suddenly fell off. As for Yi Wuyo's body, with the shaking from the crack, it turned to dust and disappeared. Wang Lin's pupils suddenly shrank. At this moment, not only him, but Yun Qzi, the old man, and the little monkey all stopped fighting and stared at where Yi Wuyo had turned to dust. A white crystal the size of half a fist floated up from the dust that was Yi Wuyo's body. When Wang Lin saw the white crystal, he immediately felt a connection to his soul. Cultivation planet crystal. Yun Qzi took a deep breath and charged out, but the little monkey was even faster as it charged out with the old man. At this moment, Wang Lin wasn't close enough and he couldn't be faster than them, so he clenched his teeth, surrounded himself with the soul flag, and charged toward the nearby hallway. Wang Lin knew that with his current strength, he was no match for Yun Qzi nor the old man Tu Sen was possessing. In fact, even if he managed to get it, he wouldn't have time to retrieve his soul piece and would just invite disaster upon himself. With a sigh, Wang Lin quickly flew toward the hallway. The old man was closer. With a flash, he grabbed the crystal and laughed. "The day Master will be free is before me." However, just at the moment he grabbed the crystal, his expression suddenly changed, his laughing stopped, and he revealed a look of disbelief. Just when he was about to release the crystal, his body shook and then started melting into strands of gas, which entered the white crystal. This all happened very quickly. In almost the blink of an eye, the old man was gone. The only thing that remained was a blob of red light that quickly fused with the little monkey. The little monkey let out a laugh. His strength suddenly increased. His power was now the same as Zhu Qzi's. He possessed the power of a late-stage ascendant cultivator. Although the monkey was very close to the crystal, it hesitated for a bit and didn't reach out. At this moment, Yun Qzi arrived and reached out, but he immediately let out a painful groan as white gas appeared on his body. He quickly let go of the crystal in fear. Luckily, he didn't touch it directly, or else he wouldn't have been able to escape a horrible fate. This change happened without any warning, causing Yun Qzi and the little monkey to be stuck in a difficult position. Just at this moment, the white crystal suddenly let out a hum and charged toward Yun Qzi. Yun Qzi's expression changed greatly and he dodged it. The cultivation planet crystal charged past Yun Qzi and toward Wang Lin. Wang Lin's eyes lit up. He saw what happened to the old man, so he started flying even faster toward the hallway. He was surrounded by the soul flag, making his speed much faster than normal. The hallway wasn't straight and had some curves, but the crystal seemed to have a life of its own. It was as if it wouldn't give up until it caught Wang Lin. Yun Qzi's face turned gloomy and he quickly chased after it. As for the little monkey, it also chased after the cultivation planet crystal. In the blink of an eye, there was no one left around the tower. Just at this moment, a purple light gathered above the tower and took the shape of the person wearing the mask from outside. He revealed a look of confusion, but his eyes immediately became clear. The cultivation planet crystal is collapsing. This Yuanqzi sure is bold. As Wang Lin fled, the white crystal chased closely after him. The crystal became faster and faster, and it was closing in. When it was within 30 feet of him, Wang Lin suddenly turned around. His right hand formed a seal, and celestial spiritual energy filled his body, as he sent out a gust of wind toward the crystal. Wang Lin's goal was to blow it away. This object was simply too strange, so he really didn't want to touch it. But with a flash, the crystal broke through the gust of wind, and in the blink of an eye it got close to Wang Lin. Wang Lin clenched his teeth and reached out to grab the crystal so he could throw it away. However, when he touched it, he found that there were no negative effects. He was startled for a moment, then his eyes lit up and he continued to escape without any hesitation. But just at this moment, a mysterious power from the crystal entered Wang Lin's arm. This energy moved through his body, toward his brain, and exploded with information. Strange symbols appeared one by one in his mind. These symbols flashed and moved like lightning inside his brain. Wang Lin wasn't surprised by this, because he had been through this once before. When he absorbed ancient God Tu Sai's inheritance of knowledge, the same thing happened. As those symbols flashed in his head, various scenes echoed in Wang Lin's mind. The scene showed a man filled with majesty and pride standing on top of a giant star compass. This star compass was completely black and had purple lightning traveling through it. Wherever the star compass went, there would be loud, rumbling sounds. Before this man was a pagoda floating in space, and there were 3 large and clear words on the pagoda. Celestial Seal Pagoda. The man quickly entered this pagoda. Stop! A voice came out from inside the pagoda. This voice was also filled with majesty, and would cause anyone's heart to shake. But the middle-aged man's expression remained the same as he bowed and said, Junior is Yi Wuyo from the country of Suzaku that has just reached rank 6. Junior is here on orders from the Cultivation Alliance to get the Suzaku seal. Wang Lin's body trembled. His entire mind was absorbed by a vortex into this memory. However, in the real world, not only did his feet not stop moving, but something even more strange happened. A ray of red light suddenly appeared under his feet, and a powerful force suddenly came from Wang Lin. However, this force didn't come directly from him but from the red light under his feet. As the red light flashed, Wang Lin's speed reached an unimaginable level. Moving at this pace, Wang Lin quickly made his way toward the exit of the hallway. Yuanqzi, who was chasing him, exclaimed out loud. His expression was ugly and he couldn't believe what his eyes were seeing. Suzaku seal. How could this Zheng Niu give off the aura of the Suzaku seal? In the scene inside Wang Lin's mind, the man walked into the pagoda. This pagoda seemed like it had many floors. The man only got to the 3rd floor before he stopped. The Suzaku seal is a low-ranked technique and an inheritance technique. One has to be the titled cultivator to use it. The voice came from the void, and at the same time, a red seal appeared in the air. This seal was very complicated and for a moment he felt like the seal looked similar to the tattoos on the skulls of the Forsaken Immortal clan members. But after looking at it closely, it was completely different. This feeling was very strange. At this moment, the seal slowly floated toward the man and imprinted on his forehead. Wang Lin suddenly felt pain. This was pain Wang Lin had never experienced before. It was as if something was being carved onto his soul. At this moment, he seemed to have lost himself and become that man. Waves of pain continued entering his body. Wang Lin couldn't stand it anymore and began to roar. His body moved even faster, and the red light was now blinding. The look of disbelief in the eyes of Yuanqzi, who was chasing Wang Lin, became even stronger. He stared dumbfoundedly at Wang Lin and muttered to himself, This is the Suzaku inheritance. How could it be like this? Without fusing with the cultivation planet heart, How could this kid go through the Suzaku's inheritance? As for the little monkey, it stared at Wang Lin with glowing, red eyes and a dark expression. Wang Lin's roar echoed in the hallway. He was moving like lightning when he finally exited the palace and appeared in the sea. He didn't stop and directly charged toward the sea's surface. He was completely surrounded by red light, and the aura of the Suzaku began to spread. His eyes were no longer clear, they were filled with chaos and struggle. Inside his mind, the pain came wave after wave. It had reached the point where he almost couldn't stand it any longer. The veins on his forehead were popped out and his eyes were bloodshot. The injuries he had suppressed previously suddenly exploded forth, but they were forced down once more by the red light. Inside Wang Lin's mind, a voice filled with majesty suddenly echoed. Are you willing to become the titled Suzaku? To protect planet Suzaku until your life ends. This voice was like lightning striking his brain and echoed in his mind. Wang Lin's eyes regained clarity. At this moment, he had a feeling that if he agreed now, he would immediately learn the Suzaku seal. Although he was only at the early stage of soul transformation, with the Suzaku seal, he could battle ascendant-level cultivators. Wang Lin replied in his mind, I'm not willing. Wang Lin's goal wasn't to stay here and become the next Suzaku. As soon as he replied, he heard a sigh in his mind. The red light suddenly moved away from his body and gathered on the crystal in his right hand. Along with the red light, the symbols also left Wang Lin like a flood. It was as if they were never there. During this time, Wang Lin quickly shouted in his heart, soul peace. One life, for a life, the voice came from the void once more. However, this time a strange symbol appeared in Wang Lin's mind and released a strange light. When he felt this symbol, Wang Lin understood. To take out your soul piece from the cultivation planet crystal, one must trade a life for it. The only other way was to wait for your soul piece to be absorbed by one of those life forms and then fight them for it. However, to find your own soul piece among the endless pool of soul pieces in the Suzaku tomb was something that couldn't be forced. It depended on one's luck. At this moment, Wang Lin's body came out from the sea. Yun Qzi was following closely behind him, and as for the little monkey possessed by Tuo Sen, it had disappeared without a trace. When Wang Lin charged out from the sea, he had already regained control. He now knew that Na Duo lied. This crystal didn't have anything to do with divine sense, let alone allow it to evolve. At this moment, he didn't have any regrets as he threw the crystal and shouted, that is the cultivation planet crystal. He didn't just throw it at any random person, but at where Liu Mai and Qian Feng were at. The two of them had been waiting. When they saw Wang Lin and company appear, Qian Feng was about to use the treasure Zhu Qzi had given him, but then he saw Wang Lin throw a white light towards them. His eyes lit up and he didn't immediately go to catch it. However, he soon regretted it as he saw Yun Qzi fly past Wang Lin and charge toward the crystal. Qian Feng clenched his teeth. Without a word, he slapped his bag of holding and took out a bronze doll. There were many black holes on the bronze doll and each hole was emitting black light. After taking out this treasure, Qian Feng's hand quickly formed a seal. His face suddenly became red, and he coughed out a mouthful of blood that landed on the bronze doll. The bronze doll absorbed all the blood. Then it began to emit a red and black light, and then a purple halo appeared over its head. Yun Qzi suddenly stopped, then he gloomily stared at that bronze doll. Yun Q said, in a heavy tone, Zhu Qzi. At the moment he said those words, Qian Feng's body suddenly began to tremble and strands of white light came out from his orifices without his control. This light was absorbed by the bronze doll. Qian Feng's eyes were filled with fear. He suddenly raised his right hand, which was holding a piece of jade, and suddenly crushed it. A mysterious power came from within the jade and knocked him away. The strands of white light immediately shattered and a small portion of them returned to his body. The bronze doll had absorbed a large amount of white light, and then melted into a pool of liquid bronze. However, the bronze seemed to be boiling as strands of red gas came out, and took the form of Zhu Qzi. The current Zhu Qzi was no longer as old but filled with more life. Junior apprentice brother, this game has now entered its climax. This old man used Qian Feng's life to take form here so we could have a good reunion. As he spoke, he waved his right hand and the white crystal flew into his hand like lightning. Zhu Qiuzi suddenly pushed the crystal against his forehead, and it fused with his body. Yun Qiuzi's expression was gloomy as he let out a snort and waved his hand. One by one, tattoos appeared, and the aura they gave off was very shocking. Zhu Qiuzi let out a laugh, then he moved and his body suddenly emitted a large amount of red fog. This fog moved violently and surrounded Yun Qiuzi, as well as everything within a 5-kilometer radius. Inside the red mist, the shockwave of spells could be felt. The battle between Zhu Qiuzi and Yun Qiuzi started now. However, no one could see the battle clearly, because it was covered by the red mist. Zhu Qiuzi didn't notice that as the red mist was spreading out, the little monkey had entered it and disappeared without a trace. At this moment, outside the red mist, the remaining 5 people were watching. They were Qian Feng, Liu Mai, Zhu Wutai, Zi Xin, and the last one was Wang Lin. Wang Lin's eyes were filled with killing intent. His hand reached out and the 1 billion soul flag appeared in his hand. He stared at Qian Feng and Liu Mai and slowly said, "Accept your deaths." This video will end here.